Breaking news at noon, the Oregon Court of Appeals rules Measure 114 is constitutional. What that means, reaction to the ruling, and what's next. And the FBI is looking into a string of vandalism targeting Tesla vehicles, the latest in Seattle. We'll hear from an owner affected by the vandalism. Plus some new changes for Portland Street Response, giving them more power to help those in crisis. What this means for first responders coming up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ashley Grams. We start with breaking news this afternoon. The Oregon Court of Appeals ruled Measure 114 is constitutional and lifted a hold on the measure. Oregon voters narrowly passed the gun control measure in 2022, but it faced a number of legal challenges. An Eastern Oregon judge blocked the measure, saying it violates the state's constitution. Now the Court of Appeals decision overrules that. Today, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield said in part, Oregonians voted for this, and it's time we moved ahead with common sense safety measures. Today's decision is a big step forward for gun safety in Oregon. Now, if the measure does go into effect, it will tighten permitting requirements for gun purchases and limit magazines to no more than 10 rounds of ammunition. The Attorney General's office says the law will not go into effect immediately. Challengers have 35 days to appeal this decision. And that's what the plaintiffs plan to do. Their lead attorney told KGW today, Measure 114 has turned millions of Oregonians into criminals because their right to bear arms has been erased by Oregon's judiciary. We intend to appeal this ruling to the Oregon Supreme Court. Also breaking this afternoon, police have arrested a man in connection with an apartment fire this morning that displaced one person in the St. John's neighborhood. Portland police confirm Preston McDougal is charged with arson, criminal mischief, and reckless endangerment. With the help of a trained canine, fire investigators determined some type of accelerant was used to start the fire. It happened around 6 this morning at North Trumbull and Edison, close to Cathedral Park. Portland Fire says everyone inside was safely evacuated. And we have a traffic alert to share. Drivers taking the Hawthorne Bridge should expect delays. One westbound lane and one eastbound lane are closed due to a crash. No information yet on what caused the crash, but we will update you when those lanes on the bridge are back open. And in the meantime, riders of MAX Red and Blue lines might have experienced some delays earlier today following a crash between a MAX train and a car. Service has since been restored, but the crash happened around 7 o'clock at Northwest 14th and Yamhill. Police say the driver of the car has been taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The two lines were down for a couple hours, and TriMet used shuttle buses to serve stations between the Rose Quarter and Goose Hollow. Let's bring in meteorologist Rod Hill with a look at the forecast. Rod, rainy this morning. What can we expect in the next few hours?
Well, right now, a lot of us, especially from I-5 back to the west, are seeing a break in the rain at noon. In fact, the coast is pretty much rain-free right now, and all of this rain that you're seeing still along 205, it's now mostly moving even east of the highway up into the Cascades. But there is more rain coming, so take advantage of some dry time over the next couple of hours. This is Futurecast at 4 this afternoon. More waves of rain coming up from our south, and actually a pretty rainy night expected. Mountain snows are going to pick up too. Remember, we have the advisory for snow in the Cascades starting at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So your lunchtime conditions, it is dry out over the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha, but cloudy, temperature 49 degrees. Just now seeing the rain move out of parts of the east side. Here's Camas Meadows Golf Course. Some drying starting to take place in the cloudy skies. We're at 50 degrees. The increasing rain 52 later this afternoon at 4 p.m. A rainy evening for your plans and 47. With that snow, which we'll talk more about in my complete forecast coming up, it still looks like snow levels for sticking snow will easily get down to 1,500 feet tonight. More on that in your complete forecast.
Thank you, Rod. The Forest Grove Police Department is asking for the public's help finding 3 kids last seen on Saturday. They are 7-year-old Janessa Brunk, 7-year-old Haven Hinnerman, and 9-week-old Declan Hinnerman. Forest Grove Police believes the kids were taken by their parents, 33-year-old Cody Hinnerman and 37-year-old Krista Lou Fisher, and that the parents took the kids to escape being brought into protective custody. Both parents are under investigation. Cody and Krista are associated with these cars and the license plates on your screen: a 2024 white Toyota RAV4 and a gray 2023 Toyota Tacoma. Anyone with information is asked to call 911. And a tragic update out of Lincoln County. The search has ended for 2-year-old Dane Paulson, who went missing from his home in Siletz over a week ago. A volunteer diver discovered his body in the Siletz River yesterday. Dane went missing March 1st and was last seen playing in the yard outside his family's home close to the Siletz River. The Lincoln County Sheriff described the 2-year-old as friendly and fearless and also comfortable around water, but unable to swim. The sheriff's office say they plan to give an update on the investigation tomorrow afternoon. And major trade partners of the U.S. are retaliating after President Donald Trump's increased tariffs on aluminum and steel imports went into effect today. Canada said it will place 25% reciprocal tariffs on steel products and raise taxes on a host of items, including computers and sports equipment. The European Union says they will raise tariffs on products like beef, poultry, bourbon, and motorcycles. And the FBI is now looking into a string of vandalism targeting Tesla vehicles in Washington. This after several incidents here in Oregon. Video from Seattle shows Tesla Cybertrucks up in flames last Saturday at a dealership. Jim Nelson with our sister station there talked to one of the victims.
You're not hurting Elon. I already purchased the truck.
This Tesla Cybertruck owner who asked not to be identified found out Monday his vehicle was vandalized while parked at the company's Linwood dealership for service.
I've worked for years for this truck. This was my pride and joy.
That wordmark logo on the back is intentional. It's the tagging that's under investigation, vulgar messages, and a swastika. The owner tells me he's Jewish.
I don't really feel like I was personally attacked based off, they knew it was my truck, and I am a Jewish person. I don't take it that personal, but to do this, it's just the whole principle of it.
Police photos show multiple vehicles were targeted with similar messages aimed at Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who joined President Donald Trump at the White House on Tuesday.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company.
The FBI's Seattle office says it's looking into the incidents here. Over the weekend, 4 Cybertrucks were destroyed in a fire in Seattle's Sodo neighborhood. Investigators have not determined if that was intentionally set. All of this amid protests over Musk's role in the government.
We're not interested in damaging vehicles or harming people or property. We are interested in taking down the stock price of Tesla.
Back in Snohomish County, this Cybertruck is cleaned up, back in its owner's driveway.
If anything, it empowers us to just be stronger.
And that was Jim Nelson reporting. Linwood police say 6 vehicles have been vandalized. The FBI is also now looking into the possibility of federal charges for those responsible. Turning now to the Russia-Ukraine war, U.S. arms deliveries to Ukraine resumed today, just one day after Ukrainian officials signaled they're open to a 30-day ceasefire backed by Washington. It's now up to Russian President Vladimir Putin to respond, but Moscow says it's waiting on details about the proposal from the U.S. NBC's Richard Engel reports from eastern Ukraine.
It has been a week of head-snapping changes here in Ukraine. First, the Ukrainians were cut off by President Trump. He cut off intelligence sharing with Ukraine, which is vital. Ukraine depends on American intelligence to help target Russian forces, but also to defend against incoming Russian attacks. And the U.S. cut off military aid to this country, which is also vital for the security of the Ukrainian territory and of the Ukrainian people. But then, overnight, in a major diplomatic initiative, Ukraine accepted unilaterally, for now, a U.S. proposal to have a 30-day complete ceasefire on the condition that Russia also accepts the terms. Ukraine's President Zelensky came out publicly. He said, as soon as the Russians accept it, we will stop everything. All military offensives on the air, in the front lines, and in the Black Sea. What this does diplomatically is it changes the script. It was just a few days ago when President Zelensky was in the Oval Office being berated by Vice President Vance and President Trump, who accused him of not only being unappreciative of American help, but of not being serious about peace. He's clearly said that he's willing to now step up, engage in the ceasefire, stop the guns, and engage in long-term negotiations. We will see if Vladimir Putin does the same. So far, the Kremlin has said that Putin will not respond to this ceasefire initiative until Russia hears more from the Americans. President Trump is expected to speak with President Putin soon. Richard Engel, NBC News, Mykolaiv, Ukraine.